Hi, this is RGK and I'm showing you Murderous Pursuits that will be released next month on April 26th. Murderous Pursuits is the latest game from Blazing Griffin, developers of The Ship. Between the mod for Half-Life 1 The Ship, the Source game The Ship, the remaster of The Ship, it does not seem like they are deviating from their initial murder party formula. Basically, players have to infiltrate a fancy social event and assassinate their target. There also was the rather bad game Bloody Good Time, in which the concept was losing its appeal and it was more towards simple deathmatch. Now we have Murderous Pursuits, which could be The Ship too, since it's all basically the same concept. Just like for the other games, we score points by killing the target that was allocated to us. Another player is tasked to kill us, and a few points can be gained by unmasking them before they attack. So how does it play? The compass at the top of the screen indicates whether the target is on the same floor or not, and gives a direction. Finally, the compass tells us if they are in the same room, but it will never show directly who the person is. It then becomes important to observe the characters who come and go in the same room, while most of the characters are NPCs controlled by the computer and not players. Among the flow of people coming and going, there will eventually be one that will instantly trigger a change on the compass, and if you follow that person, then the compass will change again. Great, you found your target. Actually, it is very quick and easy. The longest part being to walk to where the target is. Thankfully, it is not necessary to eat and drink, but there is still a meter to watch. It's a discretion meter at the bottom of the screen. It is constantly emptying and depleting, and it happens faster as you run. It reaches 0 if you get the wrong target. In that case, when the meter goes to 0, the player is revealed both to the hunter and to the quarry, which is the worst case scenario. To refill the discretion meter, you have to accomplish social interactions. In the game, it's just standing in areas marked by dotted lines. However, beware, while you're hunting your prey, there is a hunter after you, so you have to keep your eyes on both compass indicators and watch the comings and goings. To help with the objectives, players can pick two among several powers. Those powers can only be used with moderation, as they require loading time. Some are very useful, such as the one confirming whether the characters on the player are hunters or targets. Other powers allow to change disguise, to trigger a blinding flash, or to counterattack an assassination attempt. One of the biggest criticisms to the previous games was the lack of NPCs, but there are lots of them now. There are even competent bots that can participate in the murder first instead of players. When playing 2D indie games such as Hidden in Plain Sight or Dead Drop, the aim is to see who behaves differently than NPCs. You have to analyze movement patterns while the target is trying to accomplish objectives under the nose of the sniper. Detecting a player can take up to several minutes. In Murderous Pursuits, it definitely does not happen like that. There is no point in imitating the AI or in detecting who a player is or not. All that matters is the compass and who goes in and out of a room. There is no police work, everyone is moving toward the target and happens very quickly to find out who is who. The only question that remains is whether you can reach your target before your own hunter catches up to you. Almost everything else in the game becomes irrelevant. There are several levels, but the level design can't bring much to the table. On the contrary, it can be annoying to switch between floors. There are all kinds of characters, each doing their own thing in their own world, and no one cared about them. In the end, the gameplay loop is not very appealing. It is so limited that it becomes dull and repetitive within a few rounds or a few hours. Nothing impacts the flow of the action, it is very streamlined. I thought that it might work better with less players, so we tried that and without the AI. The rhythm was a bit less fast-paced, but we quickly realized that there was a big issue. Since we were not many players, we were remembering very easily which character model the others were using, and we ended up recognizing targets and hunters with a single glance upon entering a room. The game does not allow character switching beyond the start of the game, so it was not possible to switch models to throw off the scent. Little aside on the technical aspect, it is very pretty, but the frame rate is not very smooth in anything but the lowest settings. To conclude, I dig the concept of these games. I've always been fascinated by the ship. However, there are always flaws in the execution that prevent these games from finding a considerable success despite the interesting concept. We are too quickly falling in a cycle of murders without any tension or surprise, without any roleplay from the players. I would prefer something with objectives and predetermined spies and assassins, rather than this carousel of murders. Murderous Pursuits is very likely the best game of Blazing Griffin, but except if it gets released at a small price for a few fun evenings with friends, I have trouble recommending it. This studio is stubbornly doing the same game over and over, rather than spicing up the formula or proposing alternative game modes that could prove more successful than the base concept. I hope you enjoyed this video, bye bye!
If we could shout about it, I'm sure I'll let facilities know that there may be the odd carpet stain or two.
Honor the ninjutsu tradition.